Welcome back to my dark corner of this sick world.
I'm quite uninterested, really I am.
The Projected Man is a 1960s British B-movie that plays like a 1950s American B-movie, taking particular inspiration from The Fly and The Indestructible Man. Please subscribe to see our review of that. We open with an archetypal cinematic meet-cute.
You want to watch where you're going?
Pretty you may be.
Well, they certainly captured the reality of that exchange. Doctors Hill and Mitchell both work for Professor Steiner.
I'm working on the conversion of solid objects into pure energy. Energy which can be stored in a cell composition, projected over long distances, and then turned back into the object again.
Basically a transporter, and one for Dark Corner's science advisor. Dad, is any of that remotely possible?
Of course, it's possible to convert mass to energy, but the amount of energy produced would be huge. It's been estimated that the energy produced in an atomic bomb is equivalent to the mass of a butterfly.
Well, it is science fiction, but could you dumb it down a little?
Television is one method of transferring a visual image from one place to another. But the image is flat, two-dimensional, lacks life, and needs a receiver.
With you so far?
What I have achieved is the projection of an object in 3 dimensions, something that has weight, depth, and body, and without a receiver.
So, nothing like a television. What a helpful analogy. How's it going?
Yesterday, I achieved my first projection of a living creature.
Wow.
And the subject died.
But I'm counting it as a win.
I succeed every time with an inanimate object.
He demonstrates this by projecting Dr. Hill's watch.
Look at the watch.
Another success! This is a clue to why it doesn't work on living tissue.
Not without fearful consequences.
And they hastily put things right, while Hill and Mitchell exchange some significant glances.
I'm in the middle.
But Steiner's boss, Dr. Blanchard,
Who are you?
is being blackmailed by an effete Blofeld and the cigar-smoking man,
Steiner must be discredited in front of an official party.
forcing Blanchard to sabotage Steiner's experiment.
Cut the power!
Costing him 1 rat and his funding.
Your experiment will be abandoned.
If all this seems a bit plotty, it is. It takes a very long time to get to the bit that we are surely here to see, and none of this setup justifies the stupidity of Steiner's actions now. Yeah, this was the next obvious step. Rather than getting Hill or Mitchell to help, he enlists his secretary, Sheila.
Now don't be frightened, Sheila. When I raise my hand, press this. When all these lights are on, press this.
It's not rocket surgery, you'll be fine. Rather than aiming for the target table, he plans to project himself out of the window with the intention of appearing in Blanchard's home. On the principle that making a rat or a monkey appear in your boss's living room isn't impressive enough. Unfortunately,
Sheila, don't touch anything!
Hill and Mitchell arrive at the worst possible time, precipitating a disastrous error. And they know who to blame.
Sheila's interrupted the program.
Not a scientist, that's the problem. Steiner rematerializes in an alley near Blanchard's, but worse still, his right hand is electrified. Of course, gloves, that'll solve all my problems. Wrong hand? The bodies of his accidental victims now show up in the morgue.
That's low, all right.
Only a little man, was he? Blanchard arrives at the lab and takes care of the grief-stricken Sheila.
You just run to your office and get those clothes off.
Winning the Dark Corner's Jane and the Lost City Award for flimsy excuses for getting a girl into her underwear. Steiner takes care of Blofeld. Must finish undressing before I run. Sheila too meets Steiner.
Sheila!
Do try to faint in a catalogue pose. Why is he taking her? Elsewhere, Dr. Hill has suspicions about Blanchard.
Sometimes you're so cruel that I think that you must have some other motive.
Just in case anyone in the audience had dropped off. Meanwhile, back with Steiner and Sheila, did he carry her all the way home? Steiner extracts the information he needs to continue his vengeful spree, which now extends to Mitchell, because Steiner and Hill had a thing back in the day and he's not happy about the two doctors hooking up.
Paul, how did you get in?
You want to destroy me so you can go on with your lovemaking.
I don't need to destroy you, just come back in half an hour. They offer to help him, but...
What can anyone do about that?
And he leaves.
Let him go.
I'm sure he won't kill anyone else. It actually starts to feel as if Mitchell is trying to get Steiner out of the way.
You can't mean to shoot him down.
But if he refuses to be helped, he'll have to be destroyed.
Just because his brain is fried, that's no reason to show mercy.
Well, try to think of him as he is, not as he was. Think of him as the projected man who has nothing in common with Paul Steiner.
That'll give you some distance when we gun him down.
Drive straight at him.
Or that. Eventually, they convince Paul to return.
Console is programmed for a reversal process.
Great. But he blows it up anyway, because that's how these films end. This is no more ridiculous than any of the films it's aping, but it's so much more dull.
Nothing can help me.
Everything is slow and staid. The cigar-smoking man is never explained, and nor is the blackmail.
The tapes have been destroyed.
Well, hang on, we still don't know what was on them.
What was that?
It's every member of the audience. We demand to know what was on those tapes.
No, it's finished.
Finished? What do you mean, finished?
I can do no more.
What do you mean you can do no more? You can tell us what is on the tapes.
Should never
Don't you dare interrupt me. Wait, what are you doing? Are you hanging up? Don't you dare hang up. Thanks for watching. To see more reviews featuring our science advisor, click here. This film seems familiar from oh, for f***ing sakes, Robin. This movie recalls so many others. Universal's The Invisible Ray would be another one. What other films seem to have endless antecedents? Let us know in the comments below.
Get away. It's all over.